And see if you can ask your sort of mental antenna to be present with this inner process that we embark on in yoga, while keeping an antenna about what's happening with our planet and the ecology and the quote unquote weather. And outside of those two things, let's set everything else aside. So your to-do list, or the icing for the cake, or the invitations for the party, or the cat litter box that needs to be cleaned, whatever the other things are, you can set them aside. Let's come into the Ujjayi breath and sense it moving from the base chakra upwards through this antenna system within you, and also going up and beyond. So your awareness of the whole is available to you. With the exhale, you can imagine that as a necessary return to your own inner resources, the internal wisdom that comes from your practice, and this movement in the exhale coming up the front body, and then the exhale completing. Begin the next inhale at the base. And please bring your hands together at your heart, coming into Anjali Mudra. We're going to return to the chant for the base in our practice this summer in the immersion. So this chant is the Sahana Vavatu chant. Our consideration is for the welfare of the whole, and our dedication to practicing in such a way as our practice protects our values and our wisdom and our vitality. It protects our relationships, and our practice strengthens and nourishes our connections and leads us into wise action, overcoming that which is darkness and moving towards that which is light, tamas, moving to tejas. And may our practice time together and our journey together not elicit any sense of impatience or intolerance or hostility or animosity. Ma vidvesha vahai. Let's begin. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanao Punakto Vidyang Karavai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidveshavai Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Savidyang Karavai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidveshavai. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Savidyang Karavai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidveshavai. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha Hari Om. With your exhale, you may bow your head to your heart. Release your hands. When you're ready to, you may open your eyes. So one of the structures that we're using in our practices this weekend in the yoga psychology training is a system where you go from the A, B, C like this to the letter H. And right now we're just going to work with the first couple of these. So A is for awareness that something is happening, awareness that you're experiencing something. B is for locating that experience in the body, feeling where the sensations are in the body. And C is for curiosity about the sensations, about the way sensation changes when you give it attention. Also curiosity about when these sensations come, what might the historical map be of these sensations? Have I felt them before? Is this tightness here or there something that I'm carrying around with me? For how long? When did I learn to flinch or resist or contract in these certain sensations? When it comes to sensations of like delight or expansiveness, you can also ask, like, okay, and where's the historical impression of that? Or in fact, it's said in the teachings of yoga that there is an innate kind of shimmering delight in us that has been there all along. We call Anandamaya Kosha. And what's covering that over is what we're trying to kind of resolve during the practice of yoga. So if you should feel during class something like expansiveness or contentment or delight or a quality of equanimity or peace, you can ask, are these some of the native qualities of your heart? They have been there, available, but kind of just out of reach if we've got this covering over process going on. So I'd like you to come down onto your back, and I'm going to shift so that I have two blankets lying side by side. And if you don't have padding that would be the equivalent, I would recommend that you also, like inside my yoga room in the yoga studio in the house, there's a carpet. So, and there's like 3 or 4 yoga mats there too. So it's quite padded. So make a larger pad for yourself for this morning. And then please lie on your back. And I'd like you to have a block close by. Yep. Just checking that you can see me. Yeah. Okay. So the block is going to go on the flat setting like this under your head for now. Take the arms out into a T shape. And just try experiencing, we're going to go down like a corkscrew into the body. And then we'll start from the bottom and come back up more like a barber pole coming up. So with your arms out in a T shape, Rotate your head to your left as far as it can go, and to your right as far as it can go. You might be getting the news of your neck right now. Like if you haven't turned your head that far yet today, please go side to side a couple times. Maybe right now you're getting the information from your neck. These sensations. Where you can practice awareness of the sensation, even asking again, did this sensation just start today? Have you had these sorts of sensations in your neck before? And you might even ask, as you're gazing at the sensation, like, with what kind of frequency do you have these sensations? And how long back can you recall having such sensations in your neck? Then roll your head to center. You might ask yourself, when did I learn to tighten my neck? When did I learn to hold tension there? Please lie on your right side with your knees up to your chest. Bring your left arm with you. And then inhale, raise your left arm. Keep your legs and your right arm steady. And exhale, twist open to your left. Inhale, reach through your left arm and make your best effort to rotate your head to the left. Keep the knees stacked. That is a susceptibility that people unstack their knees. So please do keep them stacked. And then raise your left arm up towards the ceiling and come across to meet your right. And then roll onto your backside. Go the other way. Onto your left side. Take the right hand out on the left. And keeping your knees stacked, please inhale, raise your right arm. And exhale to open to your right. And again, bringing awareness to any one sensation in your body. A sensation that might represent either a feeling of tension or maybe expansion. And when you touch the sensation in your body, see to what extent you can really be with. You can give your attention to it. And then inhale, raise your right arm up and reach it across. Come onto your back, please. Set the block aside, so you can just put it behind your head, for example. And now turning the palms face down, so you're going to keep your head and shoulders stable and the shoulder blades stable. Roll your knees up to center using your belly strength. Let's inhale while we're centered here. And then exhale both knees over towards your left elbow without completely touching the floor. Inhale up to center. Press your left arm down for some stability. Exhale your knees to your right without completely touching the floor and while keeping the knees together. Inhale up to center, root your right arm as a support. Exhale down to your left. Keep your right shoulder grounded. Inhale up to center, press down through your left arm. Exhale, knees to your right, keeping your left shoulder grounded. And inhale, knees to center as you press down through your right arm. And then touch your feet down. Let's turn the palms face up. And pause. You may close your eyes. And see if your attention could come to a place in your body where you're having the release of tension. A sensation that might feel like a bit of relief or a bit of ease or a bit of spaciousness. And notice when you give your attention to that, when you bring awareness to that part of the body or those body sensations, what happens? What happens to the sensations? When you touch the qualities of, let's say, relief or ease or spaciousness, can you imagine at other times when this sort of poked through the veil of the busyness of daily life? And are there ways that you could imagine that this actually is the fundamental place of being? Now place the block between your knees, please, and bring your knees just up to this 90-90 position with the arms out in a T shape. Let's breathe in. And then exhale, take your knees to your left and your nose to your right. And inhale, roll up to center, knees and nose together. Exhale, knees right, nose left. Inhale, roll up to center. And then exhale, knees left, nose right. Keeping your shoulders anchored, inhale your knees and nose together to arrive at the center. Exhale, knees and nose departing together. Inhale, knees and nose arriving simultaneously. And exhale, knees left, nose right. We're going to do this a few times more, and I'd like you just to see if you can be aware of how your body is passing sensations back and forth, left to right. There's a collaboration going on between the hemispheres of your body and the hemispheres of your brain, and also between your awareness, your breath, and your body, a collaboration. Now let's go one more time, knees right, nose left. And roll up to center, arriving simultaneously, knees and nose. Put the block aside and rest again. And once more, see if your awareness might locate in your body somewhere a feeling of like release or relief, or maybe the sensations of ease or resolution of tension. In any way that you're able to, you could consider the possibility that that release of tension is bringing you back to a place, a felt sense of its underlying grace in our lives that's so often veiled by the busyness of our activities. Please lengthen your left leg out on the floor. Bring your right knee up in this 90-90 position. We're going to inhale here And then exhale and glide your right knee across. Inhale, lengthen from your right hip towards your right knee, as if you were making a little telescope of your right thigh bone. And then exhale, roll back to center thoughtfully so you feel the back of your left hip, the back of your sacrum, the right side of your sacrum, your right hip. Switch the legs. And exhale, come across to your right. So the left knee comes over. With the inhale, telescope your left thigh from your hip to your knee. And exhale, roll back to center, noticing how the inner belly is steering as your body returns to center. Inhale, left leg out and right knee up. Exhale, roll to your left. Inhale, breathe through the right thigh like a telescope. Exhale, roll onto your back slowly. Inhale, right leg out and left knee up. And exhale across. And then exhale, rotate back to center. And place your feet both flat on the floor. And you can ask again, are you able to sense what lies beneath the veil of busyness or tension or all of our inner strategies for avoiding parts of life? What lies beneath all of that? And now take your feet as wide as the width of a yoga mat. Breathe in, this will be our center position. And then as you exhale, take your knees to your left and your nose to your right. Now on the inhale, press your right butt forward so the right hip flexors open a bit more. And then exhale and roll yourself back to center using your belly muscles to steer the lifting of your legs and the return of your knees and your nose. Breathe in. Exhale your knees to your right and your nose to your left. And then inhale, press your left butt forward so the left hip flexors open. With your exhale, use your lower belly to float your knees back up to center as well as your nose. And breathe in. Exhale, knees left and nose right. Breathe out. Press your right butt forward. Breathe in. Return to center. Breathe out. Breathe in. Knees right. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. And then pausing right here. And let your awareness come again to any place in your body where you're sensing even a little glimmer of relief or freedom, a glimmer of, let's say, unburdening or reconnecting. And when you have awareness at this place in your body, get curious again, if this were to be the fundamental ground of your life on which all that busyness is being acted out, well, how might you live from a place knowing this? Now we're going to be climbing back up from this journey that took us down like a corkscrew. I need to adjust my microphone just a moment. I hope it's not making a lot of noise in your ears when I do this. There we go. So we're going to be making a journey back up through the process that we just came down through, but slightly different. And now you can think of it more like a barber pole because you're climbing up and the corkscrew is going down. Okay, so if you start with the same position, the feet and knees are wider than your hips. Maybe the feet are as wide as the yoga mat and the knees are a little bit apart. Hips, of course, are as they are. So let's do the first one. You're going to take the knees down to your right. And when the knees come down to the right, then I'd like you to sweep your left arm in a big circle towards your right and overhead, and then return it to the left. Keep your left hip pressed forward so the hip flexors are opening here. And as you inhale, sweep your left arm past your right arm, overhead, and open to your left. And see if your head and your gaze can follow your hand. Sweep across. So your eyes are intending to follow your hand just as well as you can. And that means that the pace of your movement is one of your considerations. You exhale when the arm's overhead and reaching back to your left. And then inhale, bring your hand down and across. And exhale one more time, open to your left. And then rotate your knees and your nose to center. We're going to change sides. Take your knees down to your left, please, and press your right hip forward so the right hip flexors are opening there. And with your inhale, follow to the best of your ability your right hand. Exhale, open to your right, following your hand with your eyes as well as you can. Breathe in. And breathe out. Of course, you're going to go at your own pace. Let's do it twice more, please. Here's one more. And then you have to move around your cats and dogs. When they occupy a certain spot on your mat, you have to go over them. You can't really go under them. You roll your knees to center and your nose to center. And now we're going to have a little bit of evolution. So I'm going to move my water glass. So what we're going to do when you go here now, you're going to go down to your right. The left arm comes across. And here you're going to be pressing down with the left and sweeping the right hand back. And that means that you've come up to this sort of seated twist where we're going to swoosh the belly across the lap from left to right in this case. And this pressure is going to be a twist that includes a whole spine, and it's going to become this reaching. And you make that same big circle that we just had, open. The right shoulder has to stay back there. And then we're going to lift the hips and press into a little back bend like so. And we'll come down. The left hand returns to the floor. The right hand comes under, and you'll lie on your back. And then we'll go the other way. And what's happening for me is that going the other way means falling off the deck. I practiced indoors this morning because it was 5 o'clock and it was a little chilly out here. Let me just reorient so I won't fall off the deck, because you can't come over and save me. You're in your Zoom room. Okay, let's see how this goes. Right. So lie on your back. You won't be looking directly at me anyway, so you'll see what you see and you'll hear what you hear. And if I clunk off the deck, you can just send some good vibes my way. I'll get up. Okay, so feet are wide and the knees are in that kind of line. Let's inhale while we're here. And then exhale, take both knees down to your right. Inhale, reach your left arm up to the ceiling. That's a reach reflex. Exhale, reach your left hand past your right hand. Now place your left hand near your right elbow, and as you inhale, press up and step the right hand to the right. And exhale, twist to your right. Pose has a couple of fixed components, so it won't be your most flexible twist right now. That's okay. Inhale, reach your left arm forward. Lift your gaze, lift your heart, lift your eyes. And exhale, sweep the full circle with the left arm. Rotate your right shoulder back. And then inhale, press up. With your hips, raise your left butt towards your left hip flexor. Sweep the left arm overhead. And exhale, roll down where your two hands are at the beginning of the twist that we had in our first upright position. And then exhale the right arm under and roll onto your back. Pause a moment. We're going to go the other way. Okay, so exhale both knees down to your left. Inhale, raise your right arm up to the sky. It is a reaching reflex. Exhale, right arm across. Place your right hand near your left shoulder or elbow. Inhale, come up to this twist where the two hands are more like plank pose. And then inhale, begin to reach, lift your heart, lift your gaze as you can. Follow your thumb with the exhale. Roll the left shoulder back, and then inhale, press into your shins, raise your hips up, press your right butt forward to open your right hip flexors. And exhale, bring your right hand across your face to come back down where the hands look like plank pose. And inhale the left arm through. Exhale, roll back to center. Pause there. So your movements are getting more complex, which is a part of what happens for us in our developmental trajectory in life. We are able to do more complex tasks and we can integrate them. So we're going to repeat this sequence. Thank you for playing with me. Let's begin with the inhale here. And then exhale both knees to your right. Press the left butt forward. Inhale, raise your left arm, reach to the sky. Exhale, come across. Place your left hand near your elbow or your shoulder. Inhale, step the right hand into plank pose. Wait for the next inhale and then begin to make a little back bend, like that one arm cow pose from yesterday or Friday, whenever that was. And then exhale, follow your left thumb, roll the right shoulder back. And inhale to press up without kneeling on your glasses. And exhale, take your left arm across your face. Come down where the two hands again arrive like they're in plank pose. And exhale, right arm under and onto your back. Now the second side. So breathe in when you're centered. Let's exhale both knees to the left. Inhale, raise your right arm, reaching. This is one of your original reflexes. Exhale, bring your right hand across. Place your right hand, inhale, come up so the two hands are in plank pose. And take the next inhale to reach forward through your heart, raise up like a little back bend. And then exhale, follow your right thumb. Roll the left shoulder back. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, come across and down. And then exhale, left arm under and roll back to your starting position. Stretch the legs out and let yourself get very still, like a starfish resting. You may bring your awareness, of course, to the sensations of the body. Some of those are going to be the effervescence of releasing your vitality, unburdening the vitality. And see if you can go even a little more deeply than those sensations. The place in you that recognizes there is a grace beneath all the fray of daily life. And even deeper than that grace, there is this like home ground, this home that we return to, that we have come from. You can practice a little curiosity about that essential suchness that is the deepest. What might it be like to not live in such a way as it keeps getting forgotten? You can stretch your arms, bend your knees. Please roll to your side. And press up to a quadruped position, please. I'm going to keep a blanket for padding, and you may want to do the same. Come to your hands and knees. Step your, let me see if I can do this so you'll first see, yeah, step your left foot back like you're going to plank pose, like this. And then you're going to duck the right hand under, reaching towards the left foot. So you're going to go down this long runway on your mat. So take the right arm under. Reach your right hand towards your left foot. And the left hip is lifted for right now. Walk your left hand around your head in a circle. As you're twisting your upper chest to your left, start to bring your left leg back down onto your right arm. This is called thread the needle pose. Keep the right shoulder grounded, right knee stable. The left knee is trying to come down to and maybe resting on your right arm. As you walk your left hand in a circle around your head, you might be noticing some, let's say, tightness or stiffness on the right side of your neck. Now slide your left foot back to its plank pose position. Press into your left hand and sweep your hands back to a quadruped where you start. And momentarily, let's go back to kneeling. So what happens there when you feel that in your neck is like, oh yeah, I did accumulate some stress, some tension. I have likely a couple times in the last few years forgotten my essence. Of course, I'm being a little bit joking with you. Of course, we forget more often than a couple times a year. Let's do the other side. So come to your hands and knees, please. Step your right foot back. That's like a long runway going down your mat that away. And then you're going to take the left arm under, reach towards your right foot. Get your hair out of your mouth. That's what I'm doing. And then walk your right hand around your head in a circle. And start to bring your right knee down onto your left arm. And breathe into the left side of your neck. If you can imagine offering some kindness, some consideration to the muscles there. And then walk the right foot back to plank pose. Press your right hand into the floor like plank pose and walk the left hand back to quadruped. Touch the knees down and sit back to kneeling. And you can ask again, okay, well, hypothetically, I've disconnected from my essence a couple times, maybe in the last minute, not just in the last year. So these sensations in the body, the places where we've been carrying some of that stress or tension, they're very potent places where we've stored something that we do get to unpack. And in that, it frees us to feel like we can be a part of humanity and the ecology and the solutions. And let's take this blanket and set it aside. Rise up to standing. Take a wide stance with your blocks nearby. I'll change the angle of the camera. Okay, a wide stance. Sweep the arms wide as you inhale. And then exhale, come down to Prasarita Padottanasana. Placing the hands in line with your feet, let's do foot, hand, hand, foot. And when you inhale, raise your chest and heart, use the Ujjayi breath, gaze forward at the top of the inhale. And then exhale and bow towards your legs, gazing inward as you complete your exhalation. Follow your breath pace to do this, so you're really focusing on the synchronizing. We talked a lot about that last week in our immersion. One more time, please. And then shift your hands to your hips and please rise up to standing. Now we're going to use a process with the two blocks. You're going to be placing them so that they're underneath your shoulders in a moment. And this is going to be a twisting process. And, you know, often I'll say things like keep the right hip back or the left hip back. And my recommendation is don't lean into your escape hatches. The hips may move somewhat because we're not being trained in the military right now. We're practicing yoga. But don't lean into your escape hatches. That's a consideration because it'll obscure. If we use an escape hatch, then we might be twisting from the most mobile place in the sacrum or the spine and not a less mobile place. So let's put the two blocks like a hyphen. This is my hyphen. And beginning with both hands on the blocks, let's keep the arms straight for the moment. Enjoy an inhalation. Let's keep the left arm strong and take the back of your right hand to the outside of the block that your left hand is resting on. And then keeping your wrist firmly there, start rotating your right shoulder down towards the floor. Let's keep both arms straight. So if the left arm stays straight and strong, it's securing the block. The right hand is secure at the back of your wrist on the outside of the block. And as you roll down, you might sense the back of your body getting kind of unzipped a little bit. Now press more firmly into your left arm, and as you inhale, begin to come back to center. You're about to take flight. Reach your right arm out to the side, and then follow the next inhale up into your flight pattern. And exhale, return your right hand to its block. Make your right hand firm. Take the left hand to the outside of the block. With both arms straight, start rotating your left shoulder down towards the floor. Noticing any sensations of kind of unzipping or opening up the myofascial system of the body to let life in, to let the vitality come in. And then as you inhale, press firmly into your right arm and begin the process of taking flight. And with your next inhale, let that flight pattern reach towards the sky. And exhale to come back down. You take your hyphen, your two blocks, like a hyphen, and walk them a tiny bit to your left. And bring the back of the right hand to the outside of the block. Now it's a further reach. So as you rotate Down with your right shoulder. Keep the left arm straight and strong. When we come up from center here, from down to center, your left arm is going to be a little bit to the side of center. So plan for that as you inhale, press into your left arm and center yourself over your left hand and your left wrist to come into your twist. And then exhale and return. Place your right hand on its block. Walk your hyphen to your right. And take the back of the left hand around the outside of your right block. And roll down with your left shoulder towards the floor. And then press firmly into your right hand. Follow your in-breath. You're like a bird taking flight. And exhale to release. Bring your blocks to center. And then let's take the right block with the right hand and come to standing. Turn your left heel slightly out. Turn the right foot completely out. Okay, so your block is an extension of your hand now, your hand and your arm. So inhale, sweep the arms wide. It's a strange thing. I don't know if you guys can hear that. It happened yesterday too. There's a military jet over this flight path. So inhale. Exhale, Trikonasana to your right. Inhale, left arm. Okay, keep the legs steady. Exhale, rise up. Inhale, expand. We're coming down to the inside of the right ankle. So legs steady, exhale, come down, Trikonasana. Keep the left hip really steady. Inhale your left arm past your left ear. Exhale, rise using the left low belly, left leg strength. Inhale, we're going to come in again a little bit like one block step. Mother, may I? Yes, you may. Exhale. Keep the legs steady. Inhale your left arm past your left ear. Exhale, rise up to standing, requiring a little more strength there to come up. Inhale. We're going to go another little block step towards the center. So keep the left hip strong here. It doesn't sail back behind you. And then inhale to twist. Press the left butt a little bit forward. Keep your left arm past your ear. And exhale, rise up using a little more strength yet again. And then inhale, make the feet parallel. Just to be fair to the blocks, put the right one down and pick up the left, as if they care. Maybe one block is jealous of the other block. What do I know? Turn your left foot out, the right heel slightly out. Inhale. And exhale, keep the right hip toned. You're coming down to triangle pose. Inhale your right arm past your ear. Exhale, rise up. Breathe in. Exhale down to the inside of your ankle. Inhale, sweep your arm past your ear. Exhale to rise. Breathe in and tone the right butt muscles. Your hips are slipping back for some of you. Let's exhale, bring the block, left block a little bit more forward without the right hip going backwards. And then inhale to reach. Exhale to rise. We're going to do it one more time. Breathe in. This is the hardest one, so you're going to come in a little closer to center. Exhale. Sweep your right arm past your right ear. You are twisting to your right. And then exhale, rise up. Use the right low belly, right outer hip, right leg. And make the feet parallel. And come down to Prasarita Padottanasana. And then transition down to Vajrasana. It means come to kneeling. Rest your hands on your thighs or in your lap if you like. And again, bring awareness to your body. Of course, sometimes what we first notice are these really beautiful kind of effervescent sensations of vitality returning. And I'd like you to go a little deeper than those sensations. A sense, even if there's a flicker or a glimpse into that which is more expansive, something kind of spacious. Maybe even something that feels very calm or still. And ask again if you were to sense this as something that's been with you all along and is with you going forward moment to moment. Well, then how might you sort of organize your daily life, the rhythm of things? And try not to answer the question cognitively or intellectually, but to feel like there's a quandary that we all face. We touch this place in yoga, this feeling of grace and home. And then somehow we get pulled out of it, and we are a part of how we get pulled out. It can't be rigidly held onto because it's not something you can grasp, but it's something that's welcoming you to keep coming home. So what we have there is awareness, the first step, the body, the second step, the curiosity, the third step. And then I'm pointing you to this grace and home. And in between the C and the G is discernment. Discerning means really letting your discernment get even more refined to come down to the essence, the E, that essence of emotion, or the essence of the felt sense of things. And that comes down to the F, faith, in the process of yoga, to bring us back to grace and back to home. I'd like you to have your folding chair and 2 blankets. You can keep your 2 blocks as well. Put your mind this way today. So first we're going to put the 2 blocks in front of the chair. We're going to sit on them and put 1 blanket on the chair seat to pad it. You may decide to sit up on your blocks higher than what I'm going to be showing. It will be based on your body proportions and your shoulder flexibility. So from this position, we reach back to clasp the hands and place them up on the chair seat. That's not going to be everybody's favorite thing to do. Just like we all have different flavors of ice cream that we like or tea that we drink. When you decide here, what you need is to know how high does your seat need to be to make the height of the chair bearable? And are you going to clasp your hands or hold a yoga strap? Ideally, you'd be able to lift your shoulders up and back. And when the shoulders go up and back, the heart is coming up and kind of forward. Easily release, come forward, lower your hands down between the chair and your torso, and then let your hands rest. And now we're going to take the 2 blankets and the 2 blocks for this variation on shoulder stand that we have been practicing. So you're going to stack the 2 blankets. Please stack them so that the rounded corners of the blankets are going to be facing away from the chair. That's where your shoulders will be. They'll be on the blankets right here. Let me change the angle of that camera. You'll need the blocks to be nearby where you're going to be able to reach for them. And as I've been saying, initially it'll feel like a little bit like an awkward position to get into. And I appreciate your willingness to handle the awkward on the way to a structurally sound experience of supported shoulder stand. So you're going to put one shoulder, in this case it's my right shoulder, and then come onto your back. So the shoulders are at the edge of the blanket right there. Pick up the hips and put the 2 blocks. Got my clothing caught. So put the 2 blocks on a little bit of a triangle. So you've got the blocks on the outside edge of the sacrum. Don't get your hair caught underneath your shoulder stand, please. Reach down to hold the legs of the chair. And then just pause to notice that right now your head and throat and neck are relatively open. Firmly hold onto the chair. Set the shoulders down and lift your hips just a couple inches so that you now can take the left shoulder under, right shoulder under, and you can scooch them under maybe a couple of times. And then as the shoulders press down really firmly, bring your chin towards your throat as you lift up through your hips. We all have slightly different body proportions, of course. You might have slightly different chairs and blankets. So please be thoughtful about the structure that you're setting up for yourself. Glide the shoulders down towards the blankets so that your heart rises up and the cervical spine, you feel no sense of pressure against any of the vertebrae. So here we're really working on the mechanics of the arms, the shoulders, the heart, the throat, the head, and shoulder stand. Without these mechanics understood, stacking your body over your shoulders and your neck for shoulder stand would be unwise. And keeping a firm hold on the chair, start lowering your hips back down. As your hips come down, you might have to go kind of under the chair seat with your pelvis to find the blocks again. Slide your arms out to the side and just overhead, which means you're going to slide a tiny bit off of your blankets backwards. So we're just near to the vertebrae called T1, thoracic vertebrae number 1. And we can slide a little bit further back. Maybe like thoracic vertebrae numbers 2 and 3. And take the arms into a cactus pose. Shoulders will slide back off the blankets a little bit. So now the blankets are at the bottom of the shoulder blades. And then using your feet on the chair as needed, slide back without dismantling your blankets. You don't want it to be a big lump. Scoot yourself back until you are supporting your hips appropriately with the 2 blankets. So you have your sacrum supported, and you want the legs to go up over the chair seat, which now might be a little bit far away. So this is where all that foot dexterity from yoga practice comes in. I was just showing that. And please come to rest. And again, practicing any awareness of that in your body, which is expressing the inexpressible, touching what seems ineffable, inner place that is unburdened, expansive, quiet. Keeping your curiosity available. What if this is your essential nature? Use the skill of discernment to keep that inquiry coming down to touch what feels like essence. That which is not the ceiling fan of the mind. The myriad ways in which we busy ourselves. as much as you're able to. And don't let the mind leave. It is the thinking, chattering, distracting mind. Let it rest and continue the discerning inner journey towards that which we call essence in yoga, your essential self. We welcome the rest and the resolution to continue. A little bit like cleaning the windows in the house. Allow the cleansing to happen, for certainly it will clarify your inner view, your inner discernment. Taking a sense of that which is most inward, kind of our responsibility or our dharma as yogis. Keep recalling that now, not only in ourselves, but also in others. For sometimes they cannot see it in themselves, even if they see it in us or in someone else. And now, as you keep your attention inward, imagine how you can continue to see this essence, not only as your nature, but the nature of all others. the nature of life itself. And bringing a sense of this with you, please wiggle your toes and your fingers and make your personal thoughtful transition from Shavasana back to sitting. When you return to your seat, please find a comfortable and upright, kind of like a minimally supported seat, so you are in contact with the ground to the best of your ability, while respecting your hips, knees, and ankles. And place the hands down at the mudra for the first chakra. Breathe in. Lam, 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 lam. Second. Wam, 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 wam. Third. Ram, 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 ram. Fourth. Yum, 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 yum. Fifth. Hum, 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 hum. Brahmari. The sound is Om. The M sound from the Om. Mm. 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 And then releasing your hands to your lap. Please raise your hands to your heart and hold in your heart everyone and everything as your own. Just as you are right now being held by the others who are in class. Thank you very much, everyone. Namaste.